on Saturday. Let's go ahead and take a look at the weather, and let's start out at Charlestown. Let's hope it's a nice night at Charlestown. This is their biggest night of the entire meet. I can live with 60 degrees and partly cloudy. Charlestown, West Virginia, the all stakes pick 4. It's a 50-cent wager. You have to bet 4 combinations is the catch. So you have to bet at least $2. The original gold stakes, a 7 furlong stake, the Webb Snyder Charlestown Dash Handicap. Say that really quick, 4.5 furlongs. Another 7 furlong stake, the $200,000 Sugar Maple Stakes. And we end with the $1.5 million Charlestown Classic Santa Anita Handicap. 1-2 finishers, Game On Dude and Clubhouse Ride are in that field. Let's get this thing started with the $50,000 original gold stakes, 7 furlongs. Michelle, you're up first. How do you see this race?
Well, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of favorites, but tonight I'm finding myself going right with a lot of the favorites, including the number 2 here, Downtown Allen. What I like about this horse especially is the lone speed factor. I think that she's going to be on the lead, and we should see her there with no competition, it seems like. Now, someone could step out of their game or maybe go a little bit faster, but overall, I think it's going to be all her out there by herself. She's coming in off 4 consecutive stakes victories off the layoff, but she does run well fresh. We're taking a look at her race back on October 20th of 2012. It was 2 starts ago when she crushes this field by 7 lengths. I wanted to look at this race because it's 7 furlongs right here at Charlestown, the exact race that she'll be facing again here today in the original gold. So I definitely like that race. If she runs back to that, Brett, I definitely think that she's going to be tough. Now, she is coming off a layoff, so if you don't like her coming off the layoff and you want to look for someone else, I like the 4 Runaway Bray. I'm not entirely sure she's fast enough because when you take a look at the 7 furlong races Downtown Allen is running, she's going in about the 125s. She's had a 124 and change there, so I think she's a lot faster than this field. But Runaway Bray has run consistently well in stakes company, and then you take a look, she crushed in those last 2 allowance races, so she has a little bit of confidence under her belt. She's 4 for 5 in the money, including 2 wins at Charlestown, and she has good stakes tries. She'll be stretching out, but she does have experience over the slop, and in case it rains, which it's Charlestown,
yeah, you never know.
We'll have a shot there.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned the layoff with Downtown Allen. That's really the only knock I can find, that 5-month layoff. And it's funny because you and I did not talk about these races before we came on. We are absolutely seeing the ball the same, at least at Charlestown we are. Perhaps not so much at Santa Anita. And that's not good for you because the last time we were on together, you picked all the winners and I went home with a big fat goose egg. I don't think there's going to be a goose egg in race number 10 at Charlestown. It's a 4.5 furlong dash, and when you're talking 4.5 furlongs at Charlestown, it's the Webb Snyder Charlestown Dash Handicap. You have to start with a good old pro by the name of Immortal Eyes. He's 9 out of 10 at Charlestown. 10 starts at Charlestown. He's won 9 of those races. He is a 4.5 furlong specialist, and he is an 8-year-old gelding that still gets it done. He won this stake the last 2 years, and he's seeking his 3rd consecutive win, and I don't really see any reason why he shouldn't, except for one possible factor. He's 8 years old, and sooner or later, the age is going to catch up with Immortal Eyes. But let's go ahead and take a look at his most recent start, and you be the judge. Tell me if this 8-year-old gelding has lost a step. This was February at Charlestown, 4.5 furlongs. It kind of looks like he's going in slow motion, but he's really not. And he's winning for the 9th time in 10 starts. Immortal Eyes is the even money favorite, and you really can't knock him. He probably will win the race. But we always try to knock off favorites when we're playing the pick 4 sequences. And I think there's a couple of horses in here that I definitely do fear, including the very fast front runner, Fearsome. He's 5-1, and there might not be a quicker horse in the field. He started twice at Charlestown. He's won both starts, and he will be the one to catch. Chances are he'll come back to the field, but when he's loose on the lead, you never know. He's 5-1. Finally, Regal Solo is a 12-1 outsider. He comes from the same stable as Immortal Eyes. Now, if Immortal Eyes was an absolute stone-cold lock, you wouldn't think that his stable would also put Regal Solo. He'll be coming from the clouds, and with Fearsome out there setting the pace, you know the pace will be legitimate. Regal Solo will be rolling late. So will Immortal Eyes. Michelle, I'm sure you probably agree that Immortal Eyes is going to be tough to beat.
I think he's going to be tough to beat. And I don't think age is a factor for a lot of these horses. I mean, take a look at this race. Take a look at the Charlestown Classic. All these horses are of aged. I mean, they're just getting better and better. When they're well campaigned, I think the age isn't an issue. We have an excellent 8-year-old in our barn by the name of Cajun Gent who just ran 4.5 furlongs last year and 49-4 or 49-3. So
still get it done at 8 years old. And Immortal Eyes is going to be tough to beat. And we will be right back. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to slam down the last 2 races in the pick 4 at Charlestown. The $200,000 Sugar Maple, the $1.5 million Charlestown Classic. We're going to use Game On Dude, but you know we're going to try to beat him. Michelle, you and myself will be right back after these words. It's the biggest night of the year at Charlestown, West Virginia, the scene of the $1.5 million Charlestown Classic. Welcome back to The Edge. Brad Free and Michelle Yu. The $200,000 Sugar Maple Stakes, 7 furlongs. And Michelle, we expect a key scratch out of this 7 furlong race.
That's right. It's been reported that Book Review arrived in West Virginia with a high white blood cell count. So it does look like they're going to scratch her. So although she's not scratched right now, it's going to be silly to talk about her in this race where she was a logical even money favorite, and I don't think you'd even get that on her. So instead, we're going to have to look around, and I think there's a couple of horses if you're not going to be able to single Book Review. It's hard to stick with just one in there. The most likely candidate's going to be the one Holiday Soiree. I expect her to go off as your post-time favorite. She was second to Book Review when she won the Charlestown Oaks last year, so you got to take a look at that. And I like her because she's a consistent performer. She has a little bit of back class per se. She's running a grade 1. She's running a couple of different graded stakes. She always finishes 4th, beating double digits, but she's running into monsters. I mean, she's running into horses like My Miss Aurelia when she's running in those grade 1 stakes. So I still like her. My big question is I wonder if she's better at 6 furlongs. I think I'm a little bit nervous about that. Now, if she is going to be running in this race and she's going to be competitive, she's going to have to run the race she ran here where she finished second to Book Review. We saw her there. She's laid a little bit closer to the pace and she made a late run. Well, she's going to have to lay pretty close because I don't think there's a ton of speed for her that's going to be coming backwards. So I'm going to need her to lay second or third, not being beat 4, 5, and 6 lengths. I want her really close to the pace tomorrow night if she's going to be contentious. I also in here like the 5-horse Dance to Bristol. Talk about a consistent horse. This filly is nothing but consistent. 11 of her last 12 starts, she's finished first or second. So I think that's a great thing to see on here. Now, she isn't exactly a best performer in stakes as far as winning goes. She really likes to finish second in those stakes, but today could be her day. She's shipping in from Laurel. It'll be her second or third time at Charlestown. She has 2 seconds here already. So again, with that little bit of seconditis, but we know with the scratch of Book Review, I think this race is pretty wide open and she actually has the shot to step up in here.
I'm not kidding that we see this sequence exactly the same. I'm using the exact same 2 horses, Holiday Soiree and Dance with Bristol. By the way, the Sugar Maple is sponsored by the Cantor Mid-Atlantic $200,000 stakes race for fillies and mares. The scratch of Book Review means there's no chance we're going to get 5-1 and 8-1 on your 2 picks.
No way, not even close. And I like another horse too, actually, the 7. Katie, get excited.
Okay, we'll talk about that in the betting strategy segment. Absolutely. We're 3/4 of the way through the pick 4 at Charlestown, and the last one in the sequence happens to be the big one of the night. $1.5 million Grade 2 Charlestown Classic. Gosh, this looks just like the Santa Anita Handicap that was run in early March. Game On Dude, the 4-5 favorite. Ron the Greek, 5-2. Kaya Electronica, he won this race last year. And another long shot sleeper that I kind of like. But let's talk about race number 12. Game On Dude is in career best form. And when I say career best, how about 116 and 117 Beyer speed figures? And he has been absolutely untouchable at Santa Anita. 8 starts at Santa Anita, 7 wins. Except there's one problem. Charlestown Classic is run at Charlestown, not Santa Anita. And maybe away from Santa Anita, the dude could be a mere mortal. He's made 16 starts away from Santa Anita. He's won only 5 of them. He's still a win machine everywhere he goes. But at Santa Anita, he's unstoppable. Somewhere else out on the road, maybe not so much. He did finish second in this race 2 years ago. You have to respect the favorite on the morning line, Game On Dude. And if the best horse wins, it'll be Game On Dude in the winner's circle, along with co-owner Joe Torre and Bernie Schiappa. They're back there to watch the dude run at Charlestown. But I'm going to use him and try to beat him. And there's another horse in the race that I have a soft spot in my heart for. He finished second in the Santa Anita Handicap. His name is Clubhouse Ride. He finished second to the dude twice this winter at Santa Anita. And Clubhouse Ride is a bull ring specialist. And I've liked this horse for nearly 3 years. I saw him, his coming out party actually. It was fall 3 years ago at Fairplex Park in the Barrett's Juvenile. And Clubhouse Ride was just starting to get good. Let's go ahead and take a look and show what a good horse does on a bull ring that he loves. That's Clubhouse Ride, dead last, going down the backstretch of the 5/8 mile racetrack at Fairplex Park. Now he says, oh, let's just slice through the field. Pat Valenzuela is riding him, and no horse makes a move like this and sustains his or her run all the way to the wire, except that Clubhouse Ride did exactly that. Turning for home, he kept right on going, and he wins the Barrett's Juvenile in a lot more impressive fashion than the final margin would suggest. this was his coming out party, like I said. Now, since then, Clubhouse Ride has started 19 times, and he has won only one of those races. But boy, has he chased the best. He's been chasing the dude. And if he shows up under Garrett Gomez, Clubhouse Ride, I think he has a chance, possibly, if everything breaks just right and the dude doesn't fire, maybe Clubhouse Ride at odds of 8-1 can win this. Another horse we didn't talk about that I am going to include on my ticket, Kaya Electronica, who won this race last year. We'll get to him when we talk a little bit about the betting strategy segment. But Michelle, how are you going to piece together a winning Pick 4 ticket?
Well, I think I'm going to go the same as you. I'm going to use the dude because he has the class advantage, but I'm also going to look to the side, and I'm going to try and find some other horses to beat him. I mean, we already talked about my first leg A there. I think the 2 and the 4 are pretty solid in there. As far as race number 10, I'm right along with you with Immortalize and Fearsome. I can't look beyond those two. Now, in race 11, this is where it gets a little bit dicey with that scratch of book review or the eventual scratch of book review. This is where I had to go just a little bit deep. I mean, I think Holiday Soiree is going to be the favorite. I think Dance to Bristol has a little bit of seconditis, but could always step up. We've seen horses do it before. And I really like this horse, Katie Get Excited, the 7 horse to the outside. Ricky Griffith there. First time on the dirt for this daughter of Stevie Wonderboy. She's been running up at Woodbine, and what I liked about her was after her maiden breaking score, she came right back and beat Allowance Company. She's 2 for 3 at the distance as far as wins go, and she's great at stakes place. She was 3rd in the Grade 3 Celine behind Dixie Strike and 2 ND Way, who is a Canadian champion. So I do like to see a couple of good horses in her running lines there. Now on to the big dance. Again, I'm going to use Game On Dude. I'm going to use your horse Clubhouse Ride, but I will tell you that I don't think Bill Mott would be very happy to be hearing you call Charlestown the bull ring. It's not a bull ring.
It's a 6 furlong racetrack.
It's a 6 furlong racetrack. A bull ring is traditionally a half-a-mile racetrack. So
or a 5/8 mile racetrack.
I'm just going to say, Bill Mott, I did see in the racing forum, said he can close on this track because it's not really a bull ring. I think they took him out of his element last time, putting him a little bit closer to the pace than standing at a handicap. They're going to let him do his thing. We saw Game On Dude get beat on Charlestown when this track was a little bit off. It ends up off. I think it's up for grabs.
I like the size of your ticket. $24, very affordable, but I don't think you need to spend quite that much money to hit it. I'm going to spend $18 using Downtown Allen and Runaway Bray, the 2 horses that Michelle likes. The Horse for Course Immortalized, the Speedball Fearsome Regal Solo, the stablemate of Immortalized at a price, Holiday Soiree, Dance to Bristol, and then we're getting to Leg D, and I think I have the winner in there, unless Ron the Greek comes up and upsets everything.
I can't believe you didn't use Ron the Greek.
I can only go 3 deep on an $18 ticket. The Dude at 4-5, Clubhouse Ride, and Kaya Electronica at a price. That is an $18 play. The good thing about Michelle's ticket and mine, we can both hit for small dollars.
Can I please tell you, I wrote on my PPs, inconsistent, Brad will love, right next to Ron the Greek, because we were talking last week and you said you love an inconsistent horse. And if there's an inconsistent horse that's capable, it's Ron the Greek.
You know what? If Ron the Greek beats me, then so be it. It was not meant to be.